even if only for one night. Samaria was on cloud 9. The euphoria she felt from her baby daddy's presence had her higher than any drug ever could. He was far from perfect, but he was a trying man. She knew she shouldn't have let him in after all he had put her through in the past, but just the thought of her having their family unit under one roof again was enough to give him another chance. Not to mention the love they just made felt like Christmas in the spring. Samaria was hooked. They stayed up all night talking about old times and the good times. Samaria wondered why it could never just work. The chemistry her and Vaughn shared was unmatched. It's no way that this could be the same man who had dogged her in the past. She lay in Vaughn's arms like she belonged.
Where did we go wrong, Vaughn?
She said, looking up into his eyes for answers.
Man, stop bringing up old shit. We on some new shit. Stop bringing up the past. It's what's now, not the past.
He said aggressively, making Samaria wish she'd never asked. Noticing Samaria had become afraid, Vaughn changed his tone.
I'm sorry for the way I treated you. I just be having a lot of shit going on, and it's hard for a nigga to be here like I want to.
Vaughn said with sincerity in his voice. He continued,
I want to be here for you and Keon. We a family and can't nothing change that. You belong to me. I'm here now. That's what's up.
Those words were music to Samaria's ears. Her and Vaughn made love until they fell asleep wrapped in each other's arms. The next morning came quick. Time flies when you're having fun, as they say. Samaria rolls over and kisses Vaughn on the forehead, waking him up.
I'll be right back, baby,
she said as she headed to the bathroom to take a shower. While in the shower, Samaria listened to Love by Keisha Cole. She sang it with her whole heart. A hard knock on the bathroom door interrupted her little concert.
Just a minute,
she shouted.
Man, hurry up,
Vaughn shouted with an attitude. 5 minutes later, Samaria walks back into the bedroom and Vaughn slaps her as hard as he could.
Who the fuck is Greg? And why is he texting your phone?
It's my coworker, Vaughn.
Co-worker, my ass.
Vaughn has been abusive in the past, but Samaria thought he was a changed man. She was wrong. He turned her every which way, but loose. Slanging her across the room by her hair weave, he managed to pull them out. When he was done, he got dressed and left, yelling,
"Lose my number, bitch,"
on his way out the door. Samaria gathered her thoughts and picked up her phone. A message from Greg in her phone read,
"Do you want iced coffee in the morning?"
The next day, Samaria looks at her phone to see 6 missed calls from her best friend. She calls her back.
What's the emergency, Treese?
Samaria exclaimed, referencing all the missed calls.
Did you get my text?
Treese asked.
No, I've been cleaning up, listening to music. I ain't looked at my phone. What's up?
Samaria asked.
Look at the link I sent you and call me back.
Samaria did as she was told, and to her dismay, she sees Vaughn has proposed to Tiffany, the woman she thought he was done with. Tiffany had posted a photo to Facebook with Vaughn, wearing an engagement ring, with the hashtag, "It's a wife." Her stomach automatically knotted, and the tears started falling. She calls Treese back. Treese answers.
You seen it?
Treese asks.
Yeah, I see it.
Girl, I can't believe it. That shit crazy. Ugh, I can't stand that bitch. She already thinks she all that. Now he marrying her, she is really going to be doing the most.
Treese scoffed and continued to ramble, not even taking notice of the fact that Samaria was crying.
And that shit low-key viral.
She continued.
Did you see how many likes it got?
Treese asked. Hours had passed since Samaria had gotten off the phone with Treese. She was still sitting in the same spot staring at the wall. She was stuck in a daze that she couldn't snap out of. Out of nowhere, she jumps up, runs to the kitchen, grabs a knife, then grabs a napping Keon out of his bed, and makes a dash to the car. Moments later, she arrives at Tiffany's house. She leaves Keon in the car to go bang on the door. Samaria knocked on the door hard, like she was the police.
Open this damn door. Right fucking now.
She hears someone opening the door and runs back to her car. It's Vaughn. Samaria is near her car breathing hard from the adrenaline and all the emotions running rampant through her body. Vaughn sees it's her and becomes furious.
Man, what your retarded ass doing at my girl house?
How could you?
How could I what? Marry the love of my life?
Vaughn spat.
Love of your life.
Samaria asked in confusion.
You was just at my house 2 nights ago telling me we are a family. And now you're getting married? What kind of shit is that, Vaughn? Why did you play me? What did I do to you?
Samaria cried out as tears rolled down her cheeks.
A family?
Vaughn responded with disgust. Vaughn continued to berate Samaria.
You could never be my family. And stop fucking lying all the time. I ain't seen you in months, ho. Now get your delusional ass out my yard.
Without a second thought, Samaria grabs the knife out of the car and runs toward Vaughn. Before Vaughn could react, Samaria slices him deep on the forearm, handicapping him.
You cut me, bitch.
Yep, you dirty motherfucker.
Samaria spit on the ground near Vaughn, who was on his knees holding his bleeding arm. She continued to taunt him.
Next time, it'll be in the heart. Now, tell that bitch to come outside.
Samaria says, while speed walking back to the safety of her car.
She not fighting you. Now take your scary ass on.
Screaming in agony from the pain of the cut, Vaughn musters some strength. Reaching behind his back, placing his hand on a revolver, he yells.
Didn't your mama teach you not to bring a knife to a gunfight?
So you gonna shoot me in front of my son?
Who brings their son to try to fight somebody? You a unfit mother, ho.
Samaria, who didn't realize Vaughn had his gun, notices they had drawn a small audience of neighbors. She drops her knife and jumps in the car and takes off. It starts pouring down, raining. Samaria drops her son off at her mother's house. Miss Tasha, Samaria's mom, is standing at the door taking in little Keon. She notices that her daughter is distraught, but she doesn't question her because she knows it has something to do with Vaughn.
How long will he be staying this time?
Miss Tasha asks with a voice of concern.
Mama, just keep him for a week.
A week?
Miss Tasha replied with more concern. Her daughter had never asked her to keep the toddler that long.
Please, Mama. I just need some time for myself to think.
Samaria replied with a voice of sadness.
Okay. I just need your food stamp card to get him something to eat.
It's already in his bag. Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome. You know I love to have him here.
Miss Tasha sincerely replied. Samaria headed back to her car.
You know a man can only do to you what you let him.
Miss Tasha yelled out to Samaria, who was getting into her car. Samaria didn't respond. She just drove off. When she got home, she went straight to the medicine cabinet. She pulled out a bottle of old Percocet that she had from a few months back when she had gotten her wisdom tooth pulled. At the time, she didn't take them because she had seen what drugs had done to people, and she didn't want that to be her. But here she was, holding the bottle. She poured the pills in her hand, counting 12 of them.
I could just end all of this right now,
she thought to herself. Samaria felt like she just wasn't good enough.
Why doesn't Vaughn love me? Why did he choose another girl over me? What is it about me that makes me so unlovable?
The tears streamed down Samaria's face into her mouth. Sliding down the bathroom door, she wailed.
Why doesn't he see that I love him? He doesn't want me. Why doesn't he want me?
She looks down at the pills she was holding in her hand. At that moment, her phone beeps, shifting her focus. It's a text from her mom.
Let me know you made it home safe.
Looking beyond the text, Samaria looks at her screensaver. It's Keon's baby picture. It brings her back to her senses. She realizes she doesn't want to end her own life. She just wants the pain to stop. She wants Vaughn to stop. She stands up, putting the pills back into the empty bottle, and places it back in the medicine cabinet. She heads to her bed to lay down. The tears immediately start to fall again. The events of the last few days are making her restless. Her mind was racing 1,000,000 miles a minute, preventing her from falling asleep. She lays there crying all night, thinking about Vaughn and Tiffany getting married. The thought of him loving another woman is unbearable. Just as the sun rises, her eyes finally close, and she drifts off to sleep. 3 days later, Samaria was still lying in bed, only getting up to take bathroom breaks. She hadn't eaten in days or talked to anyone outside of a few texts to her mom about the baby. Just as she is about to doze off again, she hears her front door fly open. It's her cousin, Leonard. He walks right into her room and stands over Samaria, who is still lying in bed. She is not surprised to see him.
That key is only for emergencies,
Samaria says calmly.
This is an emergency. I tried to call you 1,000,000 times. Your phone going straight to voicemail, and I know it ain't dead. You got it on DND, and you over here crying about that nigga. I know ya.
Leonard confidently proclaimed.
My mama and her big mouth.
Girl, Auntie Tasha ain't got to tell me nothing.
Leonard declares.
Lies.
Samaria countered while rolling her eyes.
For real? So you don't know?
Leonard says, looking at Samaria trying to read her.
Know what?
Samaria said timidly, while trying not to make eye contact with her cousin, because she knew she, for lack of better words, looked a mess.
Ooh, bitch.
Realizing his cousin was honestly out of the loop, he forces himself next to Samaria on the bed, causing her to have to scoot over to make room for him. He pulls out his phone, going straight to Facebook.
You all over the internet stabbing that nigga Vaughn.
Samaria looks at the screen, and sure enough, it's a video of her from the other day, in front of Tiffany's house cutting Vaughn on the arm. It had 23,000 views. From the angle of the video, Samaria knew it had to be one of the neighbors who had recorded it.
That's what his narcissistic ass get.
Leonard says with a messy but satisfied tone. Samaria doesn't say anything. Leonard looks at Samaria with concern and says,
You look like hell, and I don't like that for you.
He continued.
Don't be tripping over that worthless ass nigga.
Feeling defeated, Samaria says,
But I love him.
As she starts bawling and crying again. Leonard spends the next few hours consoling his cousin. Samaria hadn't said anything about Vaughn being abusive towards her before that day because she was ashamed, but things had gotten so out of hand, it was clear that her life was falling apart and all bets were off. She told Leonard everything that had transpired over the last few days, and then some. Leonard is furious. He had known Vaughn was no good for Samaria, or any woman for that matter, but this was the first time she had told him about the beatings.
Fuck that pussy ass nigga. I got something for his ass,
Leonard said, enraged. Samaria is shocked by Leonard's aggression. She says,
You can't fix this.
Oh, yes, I can.
Leonard, no offense, but you're gay, and Vaughn is a man. I don't want you to get hurt.
Samaria said with concern.
Bitch, what that mean? 'Cause I'm gay. I'm from the streets and I'm still a man. Don't let this purse fool you.
Samaria laughed at her cousin's seriousness. She loved him.
Leonard, you are not from the streets. Auntie Vanya raised you in a nice house.
She laughed.
In the hood, ho, I'm still connected in these streets. You will see.
Leonard grew a serious look on his face.
I need you to go out of town for at least 3 days and post your every move on IG while you're away.
Looking at her cousin with amusement, Samaria chuckled and replied,
Go out of town? I don't have money to leave. And what are you going to do?
Don't worry about what I do.
Leonard firmly replied, then questioned Samaria.
And how you don't have money to leave with this nice ass house? I know you ain't broke.
First of all, I get assistance with this house. And where do you think all my money goes? In this house. Duh.
She says with a dumbfounded look on her face. Leonard reaches into his crossbody purse and pulls out a stack of money.
Here, take this. Take Keon to Disney World or something for a couple days.
He says, holding out the money.
And where do you get money to just give away? I know being a hairdresser ain't paying like that.
First of all, I don't do hair no more. I do fraud, if you must know. I'm not no PPP loan scammer. I'm a real scammer. Not that fly-by-night shit. But you knew.
Leonard says, still holding out the money.
You ain't got to tell me twice.
She says, taking the money from Leonard.
And what are you gonna do?
Nothing. Just take it as an early Christmas gift and free vacation. You deserve it.
He says with sincerity.
I love your fucking gay ass.
I know you do, cousin. I love you too.
The next day, Samaria got herself together quickly. She went and picked Keon up from her mother and hit the road.
Disney World, here we come.
She says, looking back at Keon, who was smiling in the back seat. Unbeknownst to Samaria, Leonard kept his word. He used his connections to the streets to get Tiffany's address because he didn't want to involve Samaria. He went over to her house in the middle of the night. He had his friend Monty, who was always down for a caper, to be his driver. It was 2:00 in the morning, and everything was still, except an all-black Tesla quietly creeping down the pitch-black street.
Do they believe in fucking streetlights around here? Country-ass shit.
Leonard says to Monty, who was driving. Once they were one street over from Tiffany's house, Leonard tells Monty to turn off his headlights and pull over.
I'll be back in 10 minutes. If anything goes wrong, just leave. I'll find my way home.
He grabbed a small bag of tools out the back seat before hopping out of the car, slowly shifting through Tiffany's neighbors' backyards, barely making a sound. Leonard is wearing an all-black hoodie, black pants, and black shoes, far from his usual sleek attire. The night is dead silent, besides the sound of crickets and a dog barking in the distance. He finally spotted Tiffany's house and sees Vaughn's old 1972 Chevy Impala.
Broke ass nigga. It don't take that long to fix up no car.
Leonard whispered to himself, referencing Vaughn's car that he had for the last 5 years, always saying he was going to fix it up and take it to car shows, but never quite finished it for whatever reason. He called it a show car, but truthfully, it was Vaughn's only car. Leonard was unimpressed. He slowly made his way underneath the car, before Leonard was ready to live in his truth. He had gone to trade school to be a mechanic, and today his schooling came in handy. He cut the brake line on Vaughn's car.
That will teach his ass not to fuck with my family.
Leonard says to himself as he finishes the job, sliding from underneath the car. He quickly grabbed his tool bag and started heading back out the way he came. He didn't even notice the dog that was barking in the distance, getting closer. By the time he saw him, it was too late, and he was nearly on his heels. Leonard starts running as fast as he could toward the Tesla. Monty is sitting in the car, hearing all the barking. He looks in his side view mirror and sees Leonard running full speed, with an average-sized pit bull on his trail, running behind him, barking wildly. Monty quickly reacts, leaning over, opening the passenger door for Leonard. Leonard jumps in the car with the dog barely missing his legs.
Go, go, go!
Leonard yells at Monty. Monty takes off. Once in the clear, Leonard starts dying, laughing along with Monty.
Can you believe that? A fucking loose dog? In this day and age?
Leonard laughs, and they drive off into the night. Samaria actually enjoyed her time out of town. She posted the entire time how she was enjoying her fuck nigga free vacation. It was just her and Keon. Granted, she only went an hour away. Samaria was sitting in a nice hotel room, courtesy of her cousin Leonard. She had put Keon to sleep, which was fairly easy. He was worn out from the excitement of the day. She opened the Instagram app and saw a message request from someone who did not have a profile picture. She opened it. The message read,
Bitch, what you think, you living your best life or something? You lucky I ain't pressed charges on your raggedy ass. You should have killed me. You gon' learn. Ho.
She knew it was Vaughn. He had written to her from a fake page because she had blocked him on everything. She also saw a message from her best friend, Treese.
You cute girl, kiss my nephew for me. And you need to call me ASAP. I have been trying to reach you.
Samaria hearts the message and puts her phone on D&D, grabbing Keon to cuddle with him. She falls fast asleep. The next morning, Samaria looks at her phone and sees several missed calls from Treese and a variety of other people. She doesn't call back right away. Instead, she opts to go on Facebook, thinking she will call everyone back once she gets on the road. While scrolling through Facebook, she got the shock of her life.
What the fuck?
She whispered to herself as she read the many posts from her schoolmates.
Ain't this some shit?
One of Samaria's classmates wrote,
R.I.P. to Tiffany DuPont. You will truly be missed.
Another post from a member of Tiffany's family read,
R.I.P. to Lil' Cousin Tiffany. We love you. You had so much life ahead, you will never be forgotten. It's fucked up what happened to you. Our family will never be the same. Hashtag life ain't fair.
They had tagged several family members, including Vaughn, in the post. Quite a few people commented under the status asking what happened, but they got no response from the family member. Once Samaria is in the car headed home, she calls Treese back. Treese answers on the first ring.
Damn, Michelle Obama, you are a hard person to reach.
Treese says with a hint of sarcasm,
Where have you been? Now, fuck that. Bitch, did you see what happened to Tiffany? Oh God, that is crazy.
Treese says with excitement.
Yes, it is crazy. That's fucked up. But what actually happened to her? I didn't see how she died.
Samaria asks with genuine concern.
I really don't know, girl, but I did a little of my own research because you know I'm nosy. Don't repeat this, but you know my sister works at the front desk at the police department. And they say she got in a bad car accident. She blew through a red light and was T-boned. She died on impact.
Treese rambles off.
Oh my God.
Samaria says,
If you ask me, the bitch must have been drunk or something, because why the fuck are you running lights?
Samaria is slightly amused by her messy friend.
My sister ain't tell me that part. That's just what I think. And why you sounding all concerned and shit? Fuck her. She was fucking your baby daddy.
Treese says.
You right.
Samaria replies.
I'm going to call you back when I get home. I gotta call my mom.
Okay, girl. And don't think you ain't gotta tell me about how you stabbed Vaughn.
I know. Bye.
Samaria says before hanging up with Treese. It's been 2 weeks since Tiffany's tragic death. Samaria hasn't heard from Vaughn since the message he sent from the fake page. But he has been on Facebook, carrying on about the death of his fiancée. Treese allowed her to use her login to look at his account. Knowing Vaughn, in Samaria's eyes, he seemed to be loving the attention and sympathy he is gaining from the death of Tiffany, constantly posting old photos of him and Tiffany and making sad statuses. According to Treese, word got out that the night Tiffany died, she was driving Vaughn's car, and he seems to feel guilty about it. On one of his statuses, he wrote,
It should have been me. I'm lost without her. Hashtag love of my life.
The post had 315 sad face likes. Samaria is heartbroken. He hasn't even once checked on Keon since the night before he came over and beat her up.
Melodies from heaven, rain down on me, rain down on me.
It's the day of the funeral. Samaria and Treese are sitting at the gravesite, behind tinted windows in Treese's car, watching the family. Samaria sees Vaughn standing in the front row with the family, and some other people that she knows. Everyone is wearing black. She also sees Tiffany's brother Antonio dropping flowers on the casket that has already been lowered into the ground.
Damn, is that Antonio?
Samaria says to Treese.
Yes, bitch, that is his fine ass. I haven't seen him in years.
Treese responded wide-eyed, looking in the direction of the burial, gawking at the sight of Tiffany's older brother.
I can't lie. He was always cute. I wonder where he been.
Samaria says.
Cute. Girl, that nigga is big fine. Always has been. Always will be. A man's man. Anyway, I heard he went to the army a long time ago. I think he is like a Marine or a general of some shit. I don't know.
Treese says nonchalantly, still drooling over the handsome man.
Well, that's good for him. Sucks he had to come back for his sister's funeral.
Samaria says with a sigh.
Girl, why do you keep feeling all sad for this bitch? She did not like you.
Treese says, chastising her friend.
Okay, girl. It's bad enough you got me out here stalking people.
So, how are you going to keep up with what's going on if you aren't here? Sometimes you just gotta pull up.
Treese says in her most gangster voice.
I guess.
Samaria says, looking at everyone starting to leave the funeral. Treese cranks up the car and starts heading toward the burial. Samaria's eyes grew wide.
What are you doing?
Samaria asks fearfully.
Nothing.
Treese mischievously responds. Treese slowly pulls up about 10 feet from Vaughn. Vaughn never saw them coming. Before Samaria could protest, Treese reaches in the console and grabs her cup of blueberry soda she had gotten from the local Shell station. She slings the full cup out the window. The cup went flying through the air, hitting Vaughn smack dab in the chest. Ice and soda splashed all over his black suit.
You right. It should have been you, nigga.
Treese screams out the window before laughing, rolling up her window and speeding off. Samaria, who was on the passenger side, had slid all the way down in the seat in embarrassment. She knew it was a bad idea to ride with her anyway.
Bitch, you are crazy.
One week later, it was 3:00 in the afternoon. Clutching her cell phone, Samaria is nearly running out of the police station. She couldn't stop shaking. Finally getting a steady hand, she called Treese and told her to come pick her up. Treese tried to get answers, asking a million questions on the whats and whys, but Samaria told her she would talk to her when she gets there. It started pouring rain. Treese pulled up in front of the precinct, and Samaria rushed into the car.
Girl, are you okay? And what are you doing at the police station? Did you kill Vaughn this time?
Samaria doesn't respond.
Well, I know. That ain't what happened. You wouldn't be in the car right now. Girl, what did you do? Tell me. I can't wait any longer.
Still sitting in front of the police station, Treese is looking at a wet, exhausted, and shaking Samaria for answers.
Treese, please, just go. Get me away from here.
Staring at Samaria intently, Treese obliges and pulls off. Samaria was staring into space. She finally speaks.
Someone killed Tiffany. Well, they think. Thought I killed Tiffany. I don't know how or what.
What? I thought she got into an accident.
Treese interrupts Samaria.
I don't know what's going on. I was at work and my coworker Greg came to my desk saying the police were out front for me and they wanted to talk.
You talking about gay Greg with all the tattoos, talk real proper? I love him.
Yes, but that's beside the point. Wait, how do you know him?
Girl, you know I know everybody. But continue with the story.
Anyway, so I go outside and the police tell me that they have a few questions and they want to take me down to the station.
And you went? You're always supposed to ask for your attorney.
I was scared, and I don't have an attorney, but whatever. I went down to the station and they took me into the interrogation room and started asking me a bunch of questions about my relationship with Vaughn. They even knew about the stabbing.
What?
Treese interrupted.
They said that if I didn't tell them what really happened to Tiffany, I could do 20 years to life in prison. I could do 20 years. I didn't know what they were talking about. Then, they started showing me pictures of Tiffany's dead body at the morgue. Just disgusting. I was petrified, crying my eyes out.
Oh my God, you saw her dead body? Did she look good?
Treese asked.
What?
Samaria retorted.
Sorry, girl, I'm just asking.
Treese nonchalantly shrugs her shoulders and asks,
What did you tell them?
What could I tell them? I don't know anything.
So what did someone, drug her or something? And that's why she ran a red light?
I don't know. They didn't say. It's like they wanted me to say. But I couldn't because I don't know anything. They asked me where I was the day she died. I told them that I had been at Disney World when I got the news, and I guess the days of the accident and whatever else happened didn't line up with the days I was out of town, so they let me go, but they told me not to go too far. I have never been so scared in my life.
Treese looks at Samaria, who was still shaken up with saddened eyes, and says,
Damn, that's crazy.
They continue to talk on the way to Samaria's job to pick up her car. What the police didn't tell Samaria was that Tiffany's death was ruled a homicide after forensics discovered the brake line on Vaughn's car was cut. Later that night, Vaughn found himself alone at a local bar. Still taking Tiffany's death pretty hard, he drank until he was sloppy drunk. He even went live on Facebook from the bar.
Long live Tiffany.
A drunk Vaughn yelled into his phone. After ending his live, he scrolls on Facebook, and a picture of Treese and Samaria pops up on his timeline from Treese's page.
Fucking bitch.
Vaughn slurs to himself, looking at Treese. Then he looks at Samaria.
Damn, that's my fucking baby. I need to see her tonight. She been acting too crazy lately.
Vaughn says out loud, shaking his head. He goes to his contact list to find Samaria's name. He texts her.
You up? I want to see you and Keon tonight.
He smiles drunkenly and sends the text. After about 20 minutes, he realizes Samaria isn't going to text him back. He calls her and gets the voicemail. At that moment, a bartender approaches Vaughn.
Hi, I'm not trying to rush you, but the bar is getting ready to close for an hour.
Huh? Closing?
He looks at the time on his phone.
It's only 9:45.
Yeah, I know it's still early, but at 11, we turn this place into a nightclub. So you'll have to leave while we set up. You can come back later if you want to. We'll have tables for sale. After that, you can hang out all night. It's up to you. But right now, you're going to have to leave.
Okay. Appreciate you letting me know.
Vaughn says drunkenly.
You're welcome. Enjoy your night, sir.
The bartender replies. Vaughn drunkenly stumbles to Tiffany's gray Mercedes-Benz and gets in. He sits there for 5 minutes trying to gather himself. Finally, he starts the car and backs out. He was only 20 minutes from Tiffany's house that she had inherited, so there was no mortgage on it, and he didn't see the purpose of moving out just because she was dead. And he figured her family didn't push the issue because they knew he had nowhere else to go. Vaughn blasted his radio, driving 70 miles per hour down US 41. He hit a curb hard before jumping onto I-75. Now doing 100 miles per hour on the interstate, he slows down after he hears his phone go off. He looks down at his phone hoping it was Samaria, but it's a text from Tiffany's mom. He read it.
Good evening, Vondress. I know that it has been a tough time for you, as it is for us all. I'm reaching out to let you know that you can stay in Tiffany's house for another 6 months. At that time, we will have to pass it to someone else in the DuPont family. I think that 6 months should be ample time for you to find a place of your own. If you need any help in your search, please feel free to reach out and let me know. I will be more than happy to assist you. With love, Ms. Sandra.
After reading the text, Vaughn looks up just in time to see a deer in the road.
Oh, shit.
He swerves, losing control of the car. He frantically grabs at the steering wheel, trying to gain control of the luxury vehicle. When he finally does, he finds himself on the side of I-75 in the grass. There is silence. Then Vaughn realizes he is still alive and the car is fine. Still drunk, he starts laughing. Luckily, there were very few cars on the road, or he would have been dead. He pulls out of the grass and heads home, this time in silence. Samaria sipped her wine, while Leonard continued to braid down her hair. Keon, who was finally walking, was walking and crawling all over the living room.
Now, I don't do this shit for everybody. You lucky you my cousin. I'm retired from the hair game.
I know, cuz, but I needed a pick-me-up.
For real, though. You ain't still talking to that nigga, right?
No, but that is my baby daddy, so I am going to have to see him at some point.
Well, remember, he is Keon's dad, not yours.
Whatever, bitch.
Samaria and Leonard start laughing.
I hear you. But can I ask you something, Leonard?
I do not know if that nigga is DL, Mary.
Leonard says jokingly.
No, I'm serious.
Samaria says.
Okay, what you want to ask me?
You know the police brought me into the station the other day asking me about Tiffany's accident.
Okay, and what that got to do with me?
Okay, Leonard. Why are you so aggressive?
Girl, what's the question?
Did you have anything to do with her getting into the accident?
Bitch, is you dead?
No.
Samaria says timidly.
So what you worried about the next bitch for? Don't ask me no dumbass shit.
Leonard says aggressively. Samaria is taken back by his aggression. Just as she is about to speak again, her phone goes off. It's a text from Vaughn.
Speaking of the devil,
she says out loud.
What?
Leonard asks.
It's Vaughn texting me saying he wants to come over and see me and Keon.
Girl, what? The motherfucking nerve. Done got that damn girl killed, and now he texting you again? These niggas a trip. You better not text that nigga back.
Trust me, I'm not.
Samaria says. Just as she was about to respond to Leonard, she hears something hit the floor. She looks up from her phone and sees it is Keon. He has knocked her juice that was on the coffee table all over the floor, and now he is grabbing at her magazines with a death grip. She goes to pick him up, handing him to Leonard. She cleans up his mess. 20 minutes later, Leonard is finishing up her hair.
40-inch bust down with the good hair.
Leonard says, handing Samaria the mirror, admiring his work.
It's only 20 inches, and the hair is okay.
Damn, why you can't let a bitch have nothing? I made it look good.
I love it,
Samaria says, looking into the mirror at her new hairstyle.
New dude, who you?
Leonard says. Samaria's phone starts ringing. It's Vaughn.
Now he's calling.
Don't answer that,
Leonard says. Samaria doesn't answer the phone. Stumbling through the garage door, Vaughn falls and hits the floor. He managed to get up and pull himself together and closes the door. He sees the living room light flick on. And to his surprise, a man wearing all black walks into his view, pointing a 9mm handgun straight at him.
Kavandris Blake, come have a seat.
The man says in a serious tone. Vaughn automatically recognizes him and does exactly what he says. Sitting down on the couch with the fear of death in his eyes, Vaughn says,
Hey, man, I didn't do anything to her.
Please shut the fuck up. I'm doing all the talking, and it won't be much.
The mystery man stated. Vaughn instantly pissed his pants.
If you don't leave my house, I'm calling the law.
Vaughn slurred his words.
Your house?
The man laughed.
This nigga.
He scoffs and continues facetiously.
Being that I got this gun in my hand pointed right at you, I would say, I am the law.
Vaughn was frozen in fear.
Cat got your tongue now? Good. Now it's my turn to talk.
The man continued.
I could never understand cats like you, and I damn sure couldn't figure out how my sister got with you. You make all black men look bad.
Hey, man, I changed.
I said shut the fuck up. My mama told me about the black eyes and long nights at the hospital, the other women, the lies and the nights you didn't come home. I saw all your bullshit online. Samaria stabbing you, the Treese girl throwing shit at you at the funeral. What kind of shit is that? Can't even have a decent fucking burial around you. Oh, and the way you put on Facebook about Tiffany, like you really gave a damn about her. You were here for the money.
Trying to control his emotions, the man pauses to reflect on his words. Vaughn was on the couch shaking like a leaf. He couldn't believe what was happening. The man continued to talk, and he never stopped pointing the gun at Vaughn.
I don't know how you did it, or if you did it, but I know it had something to do with you. I was away for a minute, but I was coming for you anyway. I guess I didn't come in time. I failed her as a brother, but I'm here now.
Antonio, I swear to God, I didn't kill your sister.
Nigga, I said shut up.
Antonio shoots Vaughn right in the head. The bullet flew straight through Vaughn's temple, killing him instantly. Before making his exit, Antonio places the gun in Vaughn's hand to make it look like a suicide. Antonio quietly slips out the back door into the abyss of the night.
And now I just can't get you out of my head. I'm reminiscing about the time that we first met. Slow jams are repeating on and on in my head. I remember the first time that we made love, and I remember the exact time and day that it was. And now I'm trying to figure out just where we were wrong. And every time I picture you loving her, and what made it worse is when you had a baby with her. And even though you said that mine wasn't yours, I kept to it.
Breaking news. In a shocking new development, authorities have made a breakthrough in the case surrounding the death of 29-year-old Tiffany DuPont. Many in our community will remember Tiffany as the daughter of the late Honorable Judge DuPont, who was a respected figure in our community. May he rest in peace. 2 months ago, Tiffany tragically lost her life in what was thought to be an accidental car crash. Local authorities now believe that Tiffany's fiancé, 32-year-old Kavondris Blake, intentionally tampered with his own car's brake lines, causing Tiffany's fatal accident. In a further chilling discovery, the DuPont family, who has worked very closely with authorities in this case, have provided investigators with documents showing that the couple had recently purchased life insurance policies. Police believe Blake's motive was to collect the insurance payout following Tiffany's death. However, what Blake didn't realize was that he wouldn't be able to collect on the policies until after they were married. Authorities also revealed that Blake had a history of violence and domestic disputes, painting a much darker picture of his actions leading up to the tragedy. Unfortunately, Blake will not face justice. He tragically took his own life last month, leaving the case without resolution. The DuPont family, well known and respected in our community, has faced unimaginable heartbreak. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them during this incredibly difficult time. May God be with them. In lighter news, it looks like we're in for more rain today. Let's go to our meteorologist, Cindy Jones, for the latest weather.
She was my best friend. You were my boyfriend. You said it was nothing when I saw the message. Told me don't stress it, so I didn't swear.